listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. In the arms of the sea, be secure. In the arms of the sea, be secure. Listen, listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. Listen, listen, oh, drop. In the arms of the sea, be secure. In the arms of the sea, be secure. Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop? Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop, wooing a drop?
Have you ever seen an ocean wooing a drop? That's by Ruby. And it's such a beautiful message of how we're always and infinitely being wooed by divine love. And we can turn away from it or turn towards it. So today we're going to make it kind of a meditative day because of the rain. And I'm glad that some people decided to stay home. But I'm also glad that some of you braved the weather and showed up anyway, because some of us need that, right? That connection with each other. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. I'm Frankie Timmers. And those of you who are here, a special welcome. And those of you who are online, either today or anytime in the future, we welcome you as well. So we're diving deeper into the theme of the year, which is Living Out Loud. September, Love Out Loud. So today we're going to find out that we're already doing that, because we can't help it as divine incarnations of the One. We're going to explore a little bit more deeply how, what, when, where, and to more deeply listen to the voice of love that is already within us. You can find us on the web, cslmorristown.org. We have all kinds of things happening here at the center, especially next week when we have Rhonda Dene back doing live music, and I'm doing the art journaling workshop for anyone interested in person. And then the week after we have Elaine Silver, who's doing the Sunday celebration, and afterwards something called BTology. She's a professional BTologist, so come and check that out. We also have the Brookside Wellness Fair on the 30th of September. We would love for you to take some flyers and post them anywhere in your neighborhood. And if you would like to volunteer, let me know. We could use you as a volunteer. Even if it's just for an hour, we would love to have you. Two more things. One is the yoga is the fourth Tuesday of the month online. It's Kundalini Yoga with Steve Darsitano, and he's taking a break because Steve and Sarah are becoming parents. So Steve is going to be a daddy in October, and so he's taking a little break. We send him lots of good vibes, and he'll let us know when we start again with yoga online. Last but not least, our beloved Franny over there. I'm just saying it out loud. She's got a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday, Franny. we're so glad you're a part of our world and sending lots of blessings for your day and your year. So, what else do I want to say? Nothing for now. So let's do our Namaste practice where we get to greet one another with the Namaste, which is the Sanskrit word for the infinite presence in me blesses the presence within you. So we get to give and receive. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Today we can get everybody.
Today we can get everybody. Namaste. And let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. So, as I use the words I, mine, me, or when I use the words I, mine, me in treatment, it's always from and to the divine presence in each and every one of us. So right here, right now, as I withdraw my attention from the outer world by simply closing my eyes and bring my attention to the inner world of breath, of heartbeat, of silence, of peace, of quiet, I find that deeper harmony that is ever available. I need not seek it outside myself, for it is never there. If it is, it's only temporary. I seek it within my own mind, my own heart, my own soul. And here I am given everything that I need to move through the next moment, the next hour, the next day. Here I can trust that I have all that I need. Here I can deeply know that I am infinitely loved by a love that is beyond measure, and that this is a healing love that allows me to see more clearly, to know more clearly that love is all there is. And that's an ever-evolving experience. There is no right or wrong about that. There's just the experience of opening and deepening and trusting. So today we explore that with grace and gratitude. And for this, we are deeply grateful. And so it is. So I'm going to do a little talk with a little experience, and then we're going to have some music. Again, it's kind of going to be meditative today. We had this crazy weather here. Norman and I went for a walk around 3 o'clock, and the last 10 minutes of our walk, we became soaking wet by the rain. The moment we got back in the car, there were golf balls a size hail. And it was pretty crazy, and I know it was kind of nasty up here too. So isn't it interesting how when the weather changes, we are affected by it? We might want to stay home, or we might be worried or afraid, we might not want to drive. And so we're going to kind of like relax and rest and just be this morning. So after the music, after my talk, Gail is going to bless us with a meditative practice. So, here we are. Those of you that heard my talk last week, whether it was online or not, know that I started the month off with this idea of the definition of love. And if you still want to hear that, it lives online forever, so you can go either to YouTube or to our Facebook page. But we learned that Ernest Holmes' main message about love is that love is all there is. And that it's this infinite presence. It's not only infinite, it's unconditional. And how confused we get when we believe love is conditional. Whether we think this is so in relationships, or when we look at the news, or when we hear stories that reflect suffering or violence. And so that's our go-to, that love is all there is, until it becomes that default within us. And that's the evolution that we're making as individualized expressions of the one. And so when he says love is all there is, we might begin to question that and say, well, yeah, but, and then we have a story. It might be, well, love is all there is except how I was raised. Or love is all there is except in a relationship I had. Or love is all there is except when I look at the news, right? So we have these exceptions and these buts, or maybe these shoulds, that really reflect our own belief system, not the absolute truth. And so in those moments when we pause, we can make different choices. In the Course in Miracles, actually Ernest Holmes as well, he says there's only two basic emotions, which I talked about last week as well. There's love and there's fear. And every emotion that exists, and I've heard there's about 300, can be traced back either to love or to fear. But Ernest Holmes says fear is just the absence of love. It's just the absence of love. So that side of the category can be very revealing, like, oh, it's the absence of love. And so then we learned from Khalil Gibran in the beautiful poem that Laurie read, is that love is sufficient unto love. Love is sufficient unto itself. So even when we move around in the world and we notice something is missing or something is not sufficient, whether it's in or around us, it's that reminder again that in that moment a lie is being revealed to us and we have a choice. We can choose what to do with that. So what do we do with all that? Because we have to do something. It can't just be from the neck up. It cannot just be an intellectual process that we just think about it and then leave it behind. No, the idea is how can we let it sink down in our very body? How can we let it sink down in our very heart, in our very consciousness, conscious and not conscious? And so where we start is we start by listening. We start by listening, being more aware, being more attentive, noticing what we notice. It's really important for us to notice when we are stuck in a belief that there isn't enough love and whatever thing is underneath that, right? Whatever the list is. The reason that's important for us to notice is because for most human beings, we live in the default of not enough. We live in the default of listening to the voice of lack, limitation, or loss. As Ernest Holmes says, the human tendency is towards the negative. So our evolution is to notice that and to turn away from it and to turn to the positive, the greater. I hardly ever use the word positive and negative because we can really beat ourselves up with that word, right? But the greater, the more truthful, the bigger, the better, the healthier, the more powerful. And so for most of us, what that means is, for most of us, we listen to the voice of fear more than to the voice of love. And the idea of our evolution is to notice that and to choose the voice of love, to move into the direction of the voice of love. Because what we're experiencing in life is the voice within, the voice that we listen to the most. So if I'm experiencing lack, it's because I'm listening more to the voice of lack than the voice of abundance. If I'm experiencing despair, I'm listening more to the voice of despair than the voice of hope. If I'm listening to the voice of fear, it's just an invitation to listen more to the voice of love. That sounds so simple, right? And the fact that it seems to not be as simple is because we're constantly invited to live in the practice and to not beat ourselves up for when we don't, because that adds to the whole drama of it all, right? It's just noticing and going, oh, that's so interesting. I was just really listening to the voice of fear and following it. So let me take a moment, let me take a breath and listen to the voice of love instead. And we're going to do a little practice with that. So on the spiritual path, what happens at some point or another on this path is where we realize that the voice of fear, etc., 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 has been loud enough, long enough, and we've had enough. That's the turning point. We've had enough suffering. So Elizabeth Gilbert is someone who I kind of follow, listen to, love. I love her books. And she started a Substack. A Substack is like an online blog, and it's called Love Letters. She has this practice that she's had for 25 years of writing, journaling every day. And in her journaling, she asked the question, "Dear love, what would you have me know today? What would you have me know today?" I kind of do that already, but I started it as an actual practice. Because last Sunday, Kathy and Mark got married, and it was a lovely wedding, and we were given a gift, and I got this beautiful new little journal. And what I love about it is it has blank pages. I don't like lined pages in my journal, so I was happy. Plus, it has 3 rings, so I can keep adding paper to it. So this is my "Dear love, what would you have me know today" journal, and I've been writing in it every day. So in the morning when I wake up, I think, what's the challenge that's popped up in my dreams, or that's on my mind, or how I feel, and then I just let "Dear love" write to me. So we're going to do something similar to that, except we're not going to be writing. And I love what Evelyn Underhill says, where she says, "We are free, and we hold the keys of hell as well as the keys of heaven." So it's really noticing that we're using the keys of hell, and that we can shift the key and choose the key of heaven. We begin to listen to our own inner voice. And when we notice the voice of fear, we don't run for it, we don't judge it, we don't fight it, we just give it meaning. Because it's important for us to really give everything meaning. If I'm stuck in the voice of fear, I can ask, "Oh, that's so interesting. What does that mean? What's going on? What's happening?" And can I choose in that moment to listen to the voice of love? And the answer is yes, of course. So what we can ask is, what would love do in this moment? What would love say to me in this moment? What would love ask of me? And then we listen, and we pay attention. And we follow the answer. We follow what comes as a guide, so that love becomes that inner teacher. The great news, there is great news, is that the voice of love already is inside of you. It already exists. It is the voice that birthed you. We know from the Science of Mind teaching that love is all there is. That love is the creative, dynamic force in the universe. Love is our breath. Love is our heartbeat. Love is everywhere, present in everyone, everything, everywhere. It's just the beliefs about that get in the way. And so we get to choose to love ourselves. We get to choose to show up for ourselves. We get to choose to be honest with ourselves. And we get to choose to be kind to ourselves. I love what Michael Singer says in a journal, and I love that some of you are still actively using it. But on page 100, there's a quote, it's under week 4, by Michael Singer from The Untethered Soul, which, by the way, we're going to do it again in November and December. And he says, energy can heal. And that's why love can heal. Energy can heal, and that's why love can heal. As you explore your inner energy, a whole world of discovery opens up to you. As you explore your inner energy, a whole world of discovery opens up to you. And so what it means is that this is about healing, not survival. You know that most people are just surviving, barely? And then that causes struggling and suffering, right? So instead we say, healing is happening all the time. It's spirit revealing itself, or trying to reveal itself. We might turn away, or we might not hear it, or we might not be listening, but it's there all the time. So love letters to yourself. Dear love, what would you have me know today? Take a moment and close your eyes, just for a moment. And just feel your heartbeat. If you can't feel it, imagine that it's beating. heartbeat that you feel or imagine is really carrying the voice of love. And so maybe something's happening in your day today or in your life at the moment that is causing you heartache or sadness or anxiety or overwhelm or fear. And so ask love, what is it that you have me know today? What is it that you want me to know about this?
No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen, 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 listen. No push, no push, no pull, no pull. I am empty, I am empty and full, I breathe and receive and listen, 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 listen. I trust, let go, surrender and know. My heart is open to listen. I trust, let go, surrender and know. My heart is open to listen. I try, let go, I surrender, and know, my heart is open to listen, 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 listen. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen. No push, no pull. I am empty and full. I breathe and receive and listen, 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 listen. I listen, listen. I listen, listen. I listen, listen, listen. I listen, listen, listen.
And so from this place of listening, no push, no pull. If your eyes are not yet closed, I invite you to close your eyes and to join me in this guided meditation where we become aware of the waterfall of love, the ever-present waterfall of love. And so as you continue to breathe, I invite you to tune into an image within yourself of a waterfall. Beautiful, pristine waterfall, flowing seamlessly and effortlessly. And now, to get the idea and to understand that there is actually a waterfall of love. A waterfall of love that is continuously bathing you. As we know in our teaching, there is only love. This love is specifically your love. It funnels down through you. It's an infinite resource, continuously flowing, nourishing, healing, energizing every single area of your body. Your entire body, mind are continuously bathed in this inexhaustible supply of love. So I invite you to take a breath and really feel that love as it comes into you. And allow that love to just flow through you. It's already doing that, but now you're doing it consciously and even intentionally. So as that love flows through you, if you feel that there's any hesitation, reluctance, or interruption in the flow of love, that's just what we call, instead of ego edging God out, we have elo, edging love out. So you're simply edging love out, but you can't really do that because it's your life supply. And so as you're continuously bathed in this love, it flows into every single nerve, muscle, fiber, tendon, tissue in your body, through your bones and everywhere. And it flows out from you into your life. And whether you're aware of it or not, you are continuously flowing love into every area of your life. You may be doing it unconsciously, but you are doing it. And if there is a sense that there's somewhere in your life that there isn't love, that's because you've made an exception in your thought to its coming through. So you can let go of that exception and just let the flow continue. So all of your hopes, your dreams, and your intentions are flowing through love into your life. Through your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your actions. That love continuously flows into your life. It flows to yourself in that love letter you may have composed for yourself. And it flows out to others. It flows into your work, it flows into your health, it flows into your finances, and it flows into every other area of your life. So I invite you to ask yourself, how much love am I letting in? And as you give it a value, and even if you can't give it a value, just the awareness that there may be an area you're not letting it into is good information. So I invite you to choose one area in your life, one area that you would like to flow love or more love into. And ask yourself, what would it be like to allow love to flow more or into this area of my life? And if you notice any hesitation, simply take a breath and release the hesitation. Because now you are consciously and intentionally directing that love. And feel what it's like to release some of that tension or inhibition to love. The freeing breath. And notice how you feel. So we have a little practice that we are going to do. And I invite you, when you feel ready, to open your eyes, and you can write the area I would like to flow my love is. And you can be as specific as you want to be. And now I invite you to feel what it's like to allow more love, or the beginning of love, into that area. And so you can write down also how it feels to flow that love or more of that love. And when we contemplate, when we activate our thoughts to consider something, to intend something, and then to write it down, it's closer to materializing. If you've put it on paper, it's already taken some form. And so take a nice deep breath. And just continue to be in that place of allowing more love, or the beginning of love, into that area of your life. Okay. So, that's a practice you can do whenever you want. If you're feeling a little hesitant, a little constricted, it's always an available tool for you. And so now, because we're flowing more love, and love is all there is, love is also abundance. And so that brings us to our offertory, where we get to express our love for our beloved spiritual center, the Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown. And in this way, we activate and continue to participate in the law of circulation. So I have a basket here that I will be passing around. And people give in so many ways. If you're not giving today in the basket, I invite you to place your hand over it and bless all the offerings that you receive. And I invite you to repeat after me. There are so many ways, by the way, to give. Through Facebook, through our website, text to give, which is Reverend Fred's favorite, and showing up here and donating. So we invite you to do that because we take that love that you give us and we give it right back to you. So I invite you to repeat after me our affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
It goes forth to heal,
It goes forth to heal,
to prosper, and to bless.
to prosper, and to bless.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
It returns to be multiplied abundantly.
That feels pretty good. As I share my good,
As I share my good,
I accept
I accept
greater good.
my greater good.
And so it is.
So it is.
So we want to just thank you all for being here, for being part of this kind of quiet, meditative, invigorating, and loving experience. Know that our love is always there with you, as we know your love is with us. So I would like to also mention that after service, I will be doing the Treatment Express, and I'll have a chair up here, and you can feel free to come up, and I'd be very happy to give you a spiritual mind treatment. And now we do close with the spiritual mind treatment, which is our word, as you know, for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to know with me that this one life, this one love, this one waterfall of love, this one continuous presence of God and God's givingness, God's abundance, God's creativity, God's joy, God's wisdom, God's power, God's beauty, continuously flow through each one of us, flowing through us during this service, knowing that in this way, our celebration has been a gift and an offering. And in this way, this is how God offers itself to each one of us every moment. We are all partaking of the love of God. We are all communing in the love of God. We are all experiencing the love of God, and we are already all expressing and sharing that love. And so I am grateful. I'm so grateful for everyone here, everyone who sees this at any point, knowing that the love that has been intended and expressed continues to flow forth throughout the universe. And with gratitude, I release this word. I surrender it into the universal law of life, and I know, absolutely know, it is already now done. And so it is. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.